Are you from Jefferson?
Yes.
Are you boys with Corey Smith?
Yeah.
Are the police really were that corrupt?
So, what's crazy? So the night that happened, there was a roadblock in town, and the dude
you knew that you were with him that night.
Oh, before, yeah, we played a show at Mike's, I think, and
shout out Corey Smith again, man.
I know you saw he tweeted at the boys, said he'd come on,
man.
So, dude, that was basically before I met Corey. The way I met Corey, Corey will always be one of my main influences as a songwriter because he put out that first record, and it was all about where we grew up, right? It was, and it showed me that. Well, Skinner showed me, and then he doubled down on the fact that it's cool to write about home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that made a huge difference in my writing. But he was also one of them that was extremely independent in everything he did. Like, he was able to quit teaching and go full-time music. And when he did that, I was like, there's a possibility that I could do this for a living and not have to go work on a blow truck, insulation truck. But I was touring around, not touring. I was playing around with this little cover band. Motorcycle clubhouses, like the worst VFWs you've ever seen. Like, we're fighting every night.
Probably a reason why you might have been affiliated going into Canada.
Maybe.
Yeah, that probably played into. We're figuring out the backstory.
There were a lot of things that played into that. Yeah. But yeah, I met Corey. So they opened a bar in my hometown. It'd been Dry County forever in Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Mike's Down Under. And God bless Mike. I miss him. The first night it opened, I was with a dude that was a lot older than me. We were riding around on dirt roads drinking, and he goes, hey, man, you want to go check out that new bar in Jefferson? Here I am. I'm like 16 or 17 years old. I'm sure. I had told my parents that I was out of town playing praise and worship music at some convention called Winter Blast or something.
Hell yes.
In Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the bar is literally like, if there were no trees, you could see it from my house. So we walked in. And I brought my own beer because I knew I was too young for them to sell it to me there.
Yeah.
So the logical thing was
BYOB.
Yeah. Right.
Hell yes.
They didn't like that. So I got in and a guy came up to me and was like, hey, how old are you? I need to see some ID. And I was like, well, I don't have one that says I'm old enough. So he said, I need you to finish that or I need you to get rid of that beer. And I said, yes, sir. And I went to chug it and they went to taking me outside. And, I was on the way out the door, and
they went to taking me outside.
Yeah. He's got that. Yeah. He's got that accent too.
You got that. You got the accent.
Yeah, they got after it pretty good.
Right over.
Yeah, I knew where I was headed. Best of intentions, but there's this dude singing, and his voice was incredible, and I recognized it, and recognized a couple songs, but I wasn't gonna bother the dude, And on the way out the door, he goes, "Hey man, hey, are you happen to be Brantley Gilbert?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he said, man, everybody here, this is just super early on, Corey. He's like, everybody here, these are all my friends and family, man. They've heard everything I've got a couple of times. He knew I had a little 5-song EP out. He was like, you want to play a couple? And I said, dude, if it keeps me from getting my ass kicked out of here, hell yeah. I'll play as many as you want, So yeah, that was the beginning of the Corey Smith chapter. And after that, dude, I toured college markets with him for several years. And we had a blast. I have as much respect as humanly possible in the world for that dude. I think the world of Corey.
Let's get back to those police, though.
What they
got that song, "Fuck the Police."
Oh yeah. So there was this dude named Vic Green. It was a dick, and he Corey wasn't really in the mood to be fucked with that night, I think, and those guys kind of were a little rough on him. I know one of the guys. He's not all that bad, but that night they didn't do right by Corey. He was not in a great mood, and I don't think they were either. And, then the Fuck the Popo song came out, and it was like, he started a war.
Yeah. You heard that song?
Yeah. Fuck the Popo.
Yeah.
They mainly just play the live version, right?
The live version on Spotify, but I heard it at his concerts now. When they play that song, they'll turn to the security and give him the finger.
Yeah, that's hilarious,
the crowd will turn around and fucking give the police the bird.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was news in our hometown and everything else. And Buddy, every time he played Athens or Jefferson or anywhere else, he told that story. But yeah, one of the guys' names was Vic Green. And I want to say...
What's Vic doing now? Because he got fired, yeah?
I don't know what Vic's up to.
Did he?
Plotting is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said in that live version that they're now gone. They used to be notoriously corrupt.
Vic was one of those dudes, man. We're in a small town of Jefferson, right? Where I graduated with 66 people, and this is before I graduated. So there's nobody there.
Mhm.
He's like one of the cops that belonged in like New York City. You know what I'm saying? Like straight about business, like showing up in tactical gear and stuff.
But I feel like all small towns have one of them.
You got one
know
of
what
them.
I mean?
You gotta
Like,
have
they
one.
take the
That was
job
him.
so serious. There ain't
Right.
nothing to do in the small towns. Like you're
It's his most power he'll ever have in his
law and
life.
order. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's the entirety of the situation. So I hope
Man.
wherever Vic's at, he has found an extremely dangerous job that is filling that violent gap in his soul.
You're feeling that violent gap in his soul.
Did you know Brantley says he calls it a washer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Washer and dryer.
A washer,
Washer. Wow. That's,
Wow.
I
washer
thought
and
he was
dry.
On
definitely
you
a
for judging a
washer.
book by its cover, Will.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
for
did
sure.
agree with
Grandma
you.
used
But
to
I did
say
agree with
wash
you.
your clothes. Yeah.
Washer.
Yeah.
Wash.
Y'all better
Wash.
go get washed up.
Yeah.
We were talking to Riley Green about Corey Smith, man, and it's so peculiar how like country music works because it seems like some guys, like Corey, seems like he has all the talent in the world, but he's never done like the stadiums and all that. Like, why do you think you are able to make it and some of these guys aren't? You're obviously extremely talented.
Wasn't Riley saying that was kind of intentional? Like he kind of kept it
Brother,
that way?
I can't remember.
Yes,
Okay,
there's
yeah,
full
an
podcast
element
ago.
of truth to
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't feel too comfortable talking for Corey, but I can say this: when I was around him, he really took a lot of pride, man, in being able to be independent and independent to his core, where he didn't want a label telling him what to do.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be cutting checks to people for this, that, and the other, you know, for things that he was capable of doing himself. And I don't know if there was a moment of regret later in his career, but I think all of us look back and wish we'd have done some things different. But I remember there was a time when it was like there was kind of the hell with Nashville vibe, and I loved it, and I was on it with him. I didn't want to play this town till I could sell out whatever venue I was playing in it. That was my goal, and we did it. We, you know, it wasn't the Bridgestone first time in, but it was sold out. But he wanted to come to this town. If he did business in this town, he wanted to come up with leverage, and he did that, man. He built something so special. He did it by himself. I mean, limited number of guys around him. Corey really did have a vision for what he wanted to do, and he made it happen. And I have so much respect for that. I do think there was a time where he was like, man, you know, maybe, I don't know if it was after, as he was having kids and stuff, he was like, maybe I want to got to pursue it a little heavier. And I think they brought him to town, and he did like try to do 21 again, where they did the video for it and that kind of thing. And it just didn't take, for whatever reason. It broke my heart, man. Cause this dude, I mean, watching his process and seeing him write, like he wasn't crazy about co-writing. The majority of the songs y'all have heard from Corey are solo written in their entirety by him, produced by him.
Which is rare, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's getting into co-writing now, from what I understand, and he and I have been trying to get in the room for months. We live in the same place. I still live in Georgia. We literally live maybe 5-6 miles from each other.
No shit.
Yeah.
It's just tough. Schedules like that.
It is, man.
It seems like the only guy that I know that's really done it from without signing with anybody is Jelly Roll. Like he was so prideful on being independent, and he's in the last 2 months, he's doing fucking everything, man.
Man
He is
on
crushing
fire.
it. He is crushing it.
That's my brother.
He really is crushing it.